what we're going to end up going through today is going to be the vibe of the seller, and where that initial conversation takes place is going to be at the pre-qualification. If we're not doing pre-qualifications, then we are going on unqualified appointments. And it is up to you to decide if you are running a real estate business as the CEO, or are you just an employee? Which we will go through that. So in the meantime, Adrian, if you could give me a little bit more gist, or if you could take yourself off mute. Thank you so much for those that put their cameras on. Again, I do not mind if you're eating lunch, if you're walking around, if your camera's bouncing, but you showed up. So like, let's show up. Okay. Or I would love some participation. That's also going to be in the chat, and get ready to take some notes. In the meantime, I'd like to hear from maybe one person, if they could take themselves off mute and tell me why you were here. We signed up for the class. I know the title. You know the title. Why we sign up? Why are we here? What do we want to get out of this? Put it in the chat of what exactly you're looking to get out of it. I've had a few answers so far, but there's 28 on the call, and we expect there's 2 more coming in right now. Why are you here? What do you want to get out of it? I had some answers earlier. What's the perfect script? I'm going to give you guys a format on how to actually learn the perfect script, and then it's up to you to master it. There's 2 things that you guys can be motivated all you want to go to any sort of trainings, have the best coach that you pay tens of thousands of dollars for, which, by the way, would probably be my yearly biggest investment. In my 10-year career, I have never not had a coach. Now I got 2 or 3 of them because we need them. However, a coach or a class can motivate you as much as possible. And there's 2 things that nobody can ever do for you. What are they? Your daily effort and your daily attitude. Nobody can control your daily effort and or your daily attitude. Ever. That's up to you. So I hope that we take a tool from here and you guys go out and get some more listings so we can dominate the market as much as possible, and become a listing magnet and a listing machine, and crush your goals, because that's the goal. So we have Maureen said, I need more confidence, become a listing expert. Absolutely. Best tools for CMAs. That I'm always going to refer to your broker. And the confidence. Anna, you nailed it. How do we get the confidence in order to go on to these listing presentations and be able to show sellers who typically, would you guys be in agreement that typically realtors don't usually have the best reputations? I'm a 3rd generation. I have been a coach and trainer for a long time, and I can promise you, I think my only complaint sometimes in this business, actually, it's not only, is the other realtors. It's the realtors that are not on this call like you, who are looking to be able to perfect their skills, to be able to go out there into the market and be able to educate others on why you need a professional, right? How do we, it's one realtor at a time. If I could just change one person's life today, then my day was complete. More confidence, yes, and lead into the presentation. Standing out, absolutely. And yes, always learning. No matter what, I can tell you that never be above the process. And there's always something to learn. Always, always, always something to learn. All right, I am going to spotlight myself. So I don't have as many visuals for you guys today, because this is how I know that we're actually participating. And we also are, I'm going to be giving you lots of notes. So please get ready. And if you have any questions and I do not get to it, and it depends on if it was related at that particular moment for what I'm going to go next, and I will then be able to, I will come back to it. Okay. And then I got Kevin's got my back over there, because typically none of this would be possible if it wasn't for this amazing machine that Kevin and our leadership have brought to us. I'm super happy that I switched over to the board. If you guys know anybody else that needs to be part of and should be a part of our Miami Realtor Association, please let us know, because it was one of the best decisions I ever made, was to switch over from another board. Just saying. Okay, so who am I? Who are you listening to? Like, why are you listening to me? All right. So one, my name is Tara Carter, which we already know. Actually, you know what? Let me share. I have, let me go through here. Got it. Who am I? I am a third generation realtor. I am born and raised in Broward County. I'm a Broward County girl, born and bred through and through. My family has been selling real estate in the Tri County area for 40 years. My mom and uncle are still in the business full time. I never wanted to get into this business, and here we are a decade later. And I am honored to have just received the highest certification that can only be earned and not a course that can be taken. I actually cried when I got it. I think my pen's right here. A CRS. If you don't know what that is, it is your PhD in real estate. Please look it up because the referral community is absolutely incredible. I just sold a almost $6 million house from a CRS referral. They're phenomenal. Great community. Anybody has a CRS, like they have a PhD, right? And then I just the 20 under 40, all the athletes you guys can read. We don't need to do that. Let's get into the juice. Let's get into the juice. All right. So the first thing we're going to go over, I want to go over the last part is going to be the anatomy of a listing presentation. The first thing we have to think about is like, how can I want you to know, like, how can you get a listing? On average, put in the chat for me, because again, participation and with your cameras on, I love it so much. With your participation, it's important, even if your camera is off for whatever other obligations that you have. How can you get a listing right now? How many listings do you carry at a month at all times? Do you know? How many listings do you carry in a month? Because there is a listing conversion ratio because we have to be tracking your numbers, right? So I know for mine, in order for me to hit my sales goals, if I have less than 8 listings at a month, then I am off track. Right now I'm carrying 14. However, so we're on track. Yet if I ever go below 8, we're off track. Okay. Because there's conversion ratios. So if we don't know our numbers, because for some reason there's nobody, not one person in here has a listing. Nobody has a listing. Please put in the chat, how many listings do you have right now? Okay. And that's okay. Maureen, thank you so much for nodding your head. I love participation. It's okay. That's okay. Because I'm going to teach you guys how to go get more listings. Why do we want to become a listing agent? Well, one, we have to be able to track our numbers, and listings lead to more production. So we're going to go through the strategies of a listing presentation. And I want you to wrap your head around this. Make your focus around listings, because do you want to be an employer or the employee? Because when you're working with buyers, you're the employee. There's a 1-to-1 ratio in regards to with every listing that you take, you should be getting you will get one more transaction. If you don't have 2 to 3 transactions per every single listing, then you are not working the listing, which is for a different course and not for this one. Don't worry, we'll be back in a few weeks. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio when you are taking listings, okay? Meaning you will take another listing, and what can that be? That could be a buyer that called on the sign. That could be that the seller just wants to buy something because they're moving, which happens very often. And that's typically the only buyers that I work and whatnot. So, but for every buyer that you take out, it's typically a 50-50 ratio, meaning 50% of the time you'll probably get another transaction from it. But for the most part, it is always a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to working with sellers. So you get the leads from the signs, from the marketing, and let's talk about the time piece on it. Calculate, and if you haven't done this, I encourage you to do it. Calculate the time spent on working a listing from the call to the appointment to getting the contract to going listed, then under contract to closed, right? What is the calculation on that time? We talked about being an employee versus an employer. So what is the calculation on that time? Calculate the time spent, listing taken to listing close versus meeting the buyer to do the buyer consultation to doing buyer closed is almost double, literally almost double. And if you are not doing buyer consultations, this is not this appointment, this is not this call, then we are definitely an employee, and we can change that though. That's the best part. You can cut the time in half and do the same amount of work or make the same income by working listings. And I understand some of you guys are like, listen, I work buyers, I'm successful at it, and whatnot. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. In the beginning, I was a rental queen, probably for for a while. I was a rental queen. My business was all rentals and then nothing but buyers, right? And it was hire buyers to work too. And then now I'm 95% sellers. It has taken a while to get there. Yet I had worked on teams and buyers were the specialty. There's no like whatever you choose to do is what you choose to do. However, if you want to be able to work smarter and not harder because the buyers will come to you, then we need to be a lean, mean listing machine. That used to be one of my affirmations. I am a lean, mean listing machine. I am a listing magnet. And whatever you guys need to do that makes you guys, I believe in affirmations and the power of words. So that is up to you. So if I want you to write this down. If you generate, you don't have to tolerate. If you generate, you don't have to tolerate. The buyer's schedule and showing houses on Sundays is not even an option for me. You don't have to tolerate, like, if you don't, I know you guys do not enjoy Sunday early mornings going and showing buyers property, right? And so if you don't have to tolerate, if you generate, your client retention with listings is also higher. If the deal falls apart, right? The buyer cancels, whatever it may be. I had a buyer actually finally put a $2 million condo under contract. You guys know how these condos are so fun. And the buyer is in a coma at the moment. And so I can't do anything about that. However, guess what guess what I still have, even though the buyer is going to cancel today? I still have the listing. When your buyers cancel on a deal for whatever the scenario is, right? Things happen. When the buyer cancels, what are the odds that you actually are still going to have that buyer that's going to want to buy again or get something else? With a listing that's already a given, you still got the listing, right? Because you've already serviced it and you did such a good job that they still want to work with you. So what to expect from the listing presentation, because we talked about with a buyer, you may not more transactions with more listings. Also the time spent. I want you to understand that a single agent as a realtor, and this has been tracked, there's a great book, which I call the Real Estate Bible. Highly suggest you get it. And it's called Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. And it's the MREA. So it's a little red book, and it is every system that you possibly need in order to run a very successful and profitable business. Actually, it is right here on my desk. And I have had this since day one. Can you say that this book has been utilized? The other part that I want you to understand is that this book hasn't just been utilized. It's actually color coded because every time I went through it, I used a different color highlighter because I was in different phases of my career. Yet the basics are the basics. These are the basics. This is your Bible, y'all. Okay? That's your Bible. um, I'm excited that you have one this week, and I want you to manifest that, Marlene, that you are going to get that listing, and that listing is yours if you want it. All right, so let's talk about what to expect from listing presentations. Because according to the National Association of Realtor Statistics, a realtor should list 1 out of 4 appointments that they go on. 1 out of 4. That's not happening. Meaning, how many personality styles are there? And if you're not familiar with the DISC personality assessment, I'm going to put that in the chat. If you're not familiar with the DISC personality assessment, I highly suggest that you guys take a DISC profile test, which is for a separate course. You guys take a profile course on it because Tony Robbins one's my favorite. DISC is 4 different personality styles. Well, guess what? You only got one that dominates. So your personality style, the likelihood of the person who you were actually meeting's personality style is going to be yours is usually not very likely. So please write this down. I need 4 presentations. You need 4. 4 presentations. There's 4 and we're one of them. So we present to someone who is one of those 4 personality styles. So no wonder they say 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 agents actually take the listing. Do you have 4 different personality styles, or are you just going out and presenting based on what's best for you, based on how you receive information, based on what you think is valuable? because it's about them. You have your own scripts. I'm sure you guys got your own scripts. You probably don't even need to hear this. Probably need to leave the chat, not put your camera on apparently. And you have your own scripts. Well, great. How's that working out for you? Are you crushing your goals right now? Can you retire? Do you have a book of business that you could sell to another realtor when you are done? We can fix that. Don't you worry. So we have 4 different personality styles. So I have 4 different personality style presentations for presenting price. For showing property, I have 4 different personality styles of presenting. The presenting the market analysis and whatnot. And I'm going to give you a tactic on how to understand 2 different ways on how and what personality style that person is. But D is obviously going to be dominant. I is social and outgoing. S is steady and dependable, and C is cautious and perfectly accurate. And we'll go through that later on as well, and I'll give you guys answers on the best question that you can ask anybody, a buyer or a seller, and know exactly what they are. So if you're going to increase the ratio of your conversion from appointment, or actually a call to an appointment to a contract to a closed, then you are going to need to build rapport. So you learn their style of their personality and you adapt to them. The minimum standard for myself and the team is 60%, meaning 6 out of 10 appointments, 6 out of 10 listing appointments gone on are taken. And I know that there's somebody on this call that's saying, well, I take every one that I go on. Guess what? Guess what that means? It just means you're not going on enough. You're probably going on appointments with people that you already know. Do you think that the people and the pool of the people that you do know versus you don't know is bigger? Which one's bigger? Put it in the chat. Which one's bigger? The people that you do know, the people that you don't know? I'll wait. Thank you. Thank you, Stacey. Yeah, the people that you don't know. So we spend all this time because the people that you already know are already going to be there, right? And so yes, we want to be able to market to those people, but if the pool of the people that we don't know is bigger, then who should we be going on more appointments with as the focus? Because the people you already know are probably going to end up referring you anyways if we're using some of the other tactics, right? So the minimum standard for you don't know what your ratios are, because I remember at one point when I was getting almost every single appointment, and I was like, damn, Tara, this isn't something to be proud of, because this actually just means you're not going on enough appointments, because every appointment is an opportunity, right? And you want to learn, you'll learn something new from every appointment. So taking 90% is just not going on enough. So the standard appointment time should be, 45 minutes is what I would put in. Ideally 45 minutes. If you could be in and out in 30, especially if you did a proper pre-qualification, is what we're going to go through. If you've done a proper pre-qualification, then you could be out in 30 minutes. And then what are you doing with the rest of the time? Because I know, and I've done it, I'm so guilty of this, where I'm like, well, Tara, you'll just save so much more time by going on the appointment and building rapport. And I'm there for 3.5 hours. Now, sometimes, depending on the type of person, it's necessary, especially with my elderly clients. However, what could you be doing for the other time that you were there? Like how much money are you losing by being there? Write this down. Selling isn't telling. I don't know what you were telling for 3 hours, but selling isn't telling. No one wants to sell. Everyone wants to move. No one wants to sell and everyone wants to move. We're not talking about selling. We're talking about where are they going to and why is that important to them? And what will that ultimately do for them? How do we master the listing presentation? Write it, recite it, role play it. Write it, recite it, role play it. Role play it 1 time per day for 30 days. And it should only be 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your rate of speech. Role play it 1 time per day for 30 days, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the rate of speech. Writing it out. When I'm reciting it, I'm going to give you guys some script books as well from my dear friend, Jeff Glover. And so looking at it, reciting it, you're writing it out and then you are role playing it with somebody. If you don't have 20 to 30 minutes to be able to perfect your skills, which if we don't have any business right now, we really want to crush this business. We work so hard to get our real estate license, then there is no reason why you are not spending a minimum of 3 hours a day, because I don't know what else we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. 3 hours a day in order to actually have really like jump off the deep end in order to get into this business and into production. Because just know this, accept the fact that you're never going to know it all. You're never going to learn it all. And you're going to make mistakes along the way. And no deals will ever be the same. No two deals will ever be the same. So it's impossible to learn it all. Just give it up now because it's not going to work. So how do you learn? You get out there. You get on appointments. So if we are at a different skill set, 1 hour a day, 6 days a week is 6 hours a week to make more than brain surgeons. Please understand that. And 3 times 6, y'all can do it same as well. 18 hours a week to perfect your craft to make more than brain surgeons. Does that make sense? We should clear $1 million this year in gross commission income. I know there's somebody in this room that would like to be able to do the same, right? Guess what? You can. And that's okay if you only want to sell 5 homes. You don't want to sell 50 or 500. What your business is your business, your goals are your goals. Let me get back on my topic. What do we share on the appointments? We said role play at 1 time per day. What are we sharing on the appointment? I'm going to give you 4 things that everyone should pay attention to when you go on a presentation, because then we'll talk about what you're actually going to share. 4 things that you should pay attention to when you go on an appointment. 1, your rate of speech. Right now, I'm speaking very quick and very fast. I also know that this is the Miami Association, and so I'm not concerned about it. And for time's sakes, I only have so much time. Watch your rate of speech, because I'm not going to be speaking like this when I'm speaking to somebody that is older than me, or maybe that they don't speak the same language as me. I'm going to mirror and match what their tonality is in order to make sure that I'm communicating in the way that is important to them and not to me. 2, your tonality and the tonality and their dialect. So we said, pay attention to the rate of speech. 2, their tonality and their dialect. Because they aren't thinking that I'm crazy. They don't know any different. If I'm matching their rate of speech and I'm matching their dialogue, does my conversion go up or down? Which one? Put in the chat. Does my conversion go up or down if I'm already doing those items? It goes up. Thank you. Yes, it goes up. So we want the conversion ratios to go up. So I'm also, number 3 is I'm paying attention to their body language. Okay. Their body language is super important. If they're leaned back and their arms are crossed, I'm not leaned over and like pointing in their face, right? I'm paying attention. Is their legs crossed? Which way? How are they standing? What are they doing? Are they open to receiving? Are they closed off? This is why appointments and price presentations, price adjustments, and negotiations should always be done in person and not ever via text or email. Obviously, per records, it's good to have it. However, you got to be able to hear someone's tonality. Text messages does not go through the same for the tonality. And sometimes the dialect, things get lost in translation. So body language is super important. And then number 4 is the most important one. So I hope you're ready for it. Number 4, and the always, no matter what, no matter their personality, their dialect, their rate of speech, play to the wife. Play to the wife whenever possible. Learn the spouse's personality style fast. And I don't care whoever the wife is and whatever whatever scenario it is, play to the wife. I don't care if the husband's the one in control, you play to the wife. That's it. So those would be the 4 things in order to really pay attention to. Play to the wife. And so what's the old saying? They say opposites attract. If opposites attract and I know that the person I'm meeting with is amiable, then typically the other person that he's with may be a high I, which is social and outgoing. So if I know that the person I'm speaking to is a CEO and he's a high D, which is direct and straight to the point, then typically, for the most part, the spouse is either a high I or a high S. Just depends. Isn't usually the case, but sometimes it can be. So what are we bringing for value? Okay, let's talk about value. What are you bringing? Well, 1, the value of you. It's you. You're the value. You're also going to be bringing your office stats. If you don't have a lot of stats, you're using your office stats. You guys are with the best board, and literally, I don't know, you guys just saw the numbers. We're the largest association in the entire country. Hope you heard that. The largest association in the entire country. So take advantage of the information and the tools that we have in order to be able to have stats that are accurate, right? Who's sold in the area? Now you're a broker, and the brokerage that you're with, you use their stats, use your team stats, use your individual stats, use your broker stats, right? And make sure you have that. So the value is you compared to the market, and know your language of real estate. And that's not for this. A language of real estate conversations is not for this, but your lore numbers is what it's called, LORE. But it's not for this call though. And then also your good third part you'll be sharing is your status as the local expert, because you have to be the local expert, right? Would you, and if you're going to be sharing stats, would you rather be talking about other people's listings, or would you rather be talking about your brokerage's listings? I'm just saying. And I don't even care if you got to go back 5 years to pull stats that your broker has given. So be the local expert. So what is your value? Great question. Your value besides you, it's your brokerage stats is the value. If you are a member of the largest real estate association in the entire country, what tools do we have? Utilize those. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy and fancy. If you guys message me, and I'll put my thing back up. If you guys follow me on social media and you guys message me, I will send you my entire listing presentation. Like, have at it. Like, do whatever you want to do it. Change the colors, whatever it is. I'm an open book. So, but you better know everything that's in there, and you better be able to talk about what's in there. So what is something that you can put in there that you also know is going to be catered to you? 2 is your resume. Your resume is the second thing that you're going to be putting in there. Here is, I'll put this on again. This is I believe that one's my Instagram. Kevin, can you actually check that? Can you tell me if that's I think it is. You are going to want to be the local expert. So your resume is important. If you worked another career, that's okay. Put that in there. Put the truth. Utilize your resume as well for why you signed up with the brokerage that you're with. You signed up with them for a reason. So utilize them. And if you're not, I mean, that's not for this call. We won't go there. Is that it, Kevin? Is that right?
Sorry, what is what?
That QR scan.
Oh, yeah, let me check.
Yeah, test it. So your numbers, your value is you and why to work with you. Also, like, I have my accolades, and I can give my entire accolade conversation about what my value is or who I am. Oh, that's actually not it. And who I am based on that's not it. That's the website though. I can give it all based like in a 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 2 minutes. Do you want a 5 minute? I can give you that too, because of the different personality styles, right? So be able to write out your value, chat GPT it, and then master it if you want to. So your value and your resume, okay? Your resume is in there as well, is in there. So your numbers, okay? The value you have is the numbers that we already know. Any numbers like your list to sales price ratio, and whatnot. So then your resume. Second part would be how your expertise and value help this specific client. So expertise with this type of property, and hyper local expertise as well. And then how are we going in your marketing plan? So what is your marketing plan? And let me back up really quick so I don't confuse you. After your resume should be an infographic of some sort, and you guys can see one when I'll put my Instagram in there too. You guys could just message me. There should be an infographic that is just a 1-page simple, here's our story, here's who we are, here's why to work with us. And it could have all the accolades in one little 1-pager. You don't need to get fancy. Don't confuse them. It also isn't about you, it's about them. They already made a decision about you. And if you don't think that they didn't Google you before you actually went over, you crazy, because they did. And if you do not feel confident in your skills and ability in order to actually go on the appointment, then call a great agent like me to go on the appointment and partner with you. Because would you rather, I mean, take a slice of the loaf or no loaf at all, or practice your skill set till you get so damn good that you don't even have to worry about going on with anybody, right? That's what I did. That's why we're here. So, and then fourth would be your marketing plan. Your marketing plan. What is in your marketing plan? I'm going to give you 4 things that is in your marketing plan. One is your online marketing. What do you do online to market the property? And that's, oh, here's a page of 350 plus websites that we syndicate to. Once I put your home into the multiple listing service. The multiple listing service, Mr. Seller, is a service that realtors use in order to input great homes like yours and be able to syndicate to 300,000 plus other websites so everybody can get their eyes on that. I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to put it on MLS. Guess what? Nobody knows what MLS is. Only you do. We speak real estate talk. They do not. We do this every day. They do not. So I'm not saying the MLS, the realtors use a service called the multiple listing service. The multiple listing service allows me to input your great property into that platform, which then syndicates to 300,000 plus other websites. So you get full exposure, and you want full exposure, don't you? Sell it to them. So your marketing plan is your online marketing. It's also your agent to agent marketing. Do you have relationships with other agents in the market? How are you connected? I'm a national trainer and speaker, so I travel. This has been my business plan. Yet you can do the same thing because you guys have this great little tool called social media that you could be a part of a whole bunch of different referral groups. Also, with all those little accolades of the seller, my SRS, my CRS, my designations, and whatnot, there are communities that you can be a part of that give out referrals, and you can connect with agents all the time. So you have an agent to agent community that's local and also national and international because you're with the best board. So utilize them. Your print marketing. I always believe in print marketing. I do think that the door-to-door things still work. I know that the mailers still work. We door knocked over 200 doors just with invites and print marketing. And this is not for this course, but that's for another on how to be able to dominate and strategically communicate with print marketing. And then 4 would be your other marketing ideas. Any other marketing ideas that you have? So, and like I said, you don't have to confuse them. It doesn't have to be this grand presentation with 30 pages and you don't even know what's in it. Mr. Seller, here's a 16-point plan of what exactly I'm going to do to sell your home. Do you feel confident that I can sell your home? Well, yes. Great. Let's move on. That's it. And so print marketing still works. Yes. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, you're the best, Tanya. I appreciate you. Thank you. There's a reason why we're not doing slides today. I'm gonna have you guys get used to me. So when you see my name up, then you're ready to take notes and your cameras are on. Let's go. Okay, so print marketing, we said, and then the other part is that I know that has changed from like the basics of what the basics were before is going to be the online marketing part is going to involve social media. As social media grows, you have to be able to grow with it, right? And so if that is not your strength and you're like, man, I don't have a following or I don't have TikTok, FYI, I put myself in TikTok jail over 2 years ago. Why? Because I already spend 2-3 hours a day on Instagram. I don't need to be adding no more platforms because I lose like hours off my life off these things. So I'm not doing it. So I would suggest if you are on one platform, get really good at it, or then hire somebody else to be able to help leverage the other platforms, right? So you don't need a whole bunch, yet it is a powerful tool to use yourselves, your teams, your brokers, the Miami Association. It is important to be able to use all of these numbers and use their reach. Miami has a global reach. Hello, those numbers should be in there. Utilize it. You guys are not with the Miami board for no reason. So it is nice though. And so for those, I just put my Instagram in there. And if you guys send me a message, I will. Thank you, Antonio. I will make sure to get some stuff over to you guys for my presentation, for my listing seller guide. However, it is nice to say, hey, I have a 40,000 plus reach through social media. I just sold 3 houses last week that I didn't even put live on the market. Well, I had to put them live because of social media, right? We've made it active within 24 hours that I posted about it and they were gone. I canceled all 7 open houses I had last weekend. I only had to do One, because we sold them all. So the power of social media is a real thing, but don't beat yourself up if you don't have a huge network, because you can build that. But in the meantime, use your teams, your brokers, and the Miami Association statistics, and you will dominate. So thank you. I appreciate that. I will look at it. And so so the next part would be the print marketing. We said social media. Oh, and circle prospecting. So the print marketing can also be around circle prospecting, and circle prospecting is not this course, but that is where you just sold and just listed and whatnot. And they probably know someone. And I always get sellers that say to me, well, Tara, like, why are you calling my neighbors? I remember the one lady, she said, I don't understand why you're door knocking and like calling and sending mails to my neighborhood. I said, because your neighbors have a unique opportunity to pick their own neighbor. And if we know that other people know great people and your neighbors know somebody, is it likely that somebody will come and buy your home because of one of the neighbors? And she said, yes, I had 3 offers over ask above 3.5 million, all cash, literally all from the neighbors, every single one. And the person who bought the house was the person who lived on the same street that called a friend to be their neighbor. I'm just saying, do not sleep on the old school tactics. We try to get all fancy with these things. Don't sleep on this. Go back to the basics. Go back to the basics, because the basics work. I told you guys, my mom's been selling since 1985 when it was dirt. Do you know how I know all the streets? Because it was a grid system. There was no MLS. There was no photos. She used to take her Polaroid cameras, and we used to have to go to Eckert's to go print the photos, to then photocopy them at the office, to then put them on a booklet that possibly got passed around in the office. And if she sold 75 homes her first year with no MLS, nothing but a Polaroid camera, there's no reason why you can't either. I'm just saying. So yes, we were born this way. So, all right. So we said opportunity to pick your own neighbor for the circle prospect. Now, and what I'm saying is, like, I'm sharing with the seller about how I'm going to promote their neighborhood. That is the end on value and marketing. Let's go to pricing strategy. Okay. Pricing strategy. The majority of please hear me when I say this. The majority of listings are won or lost in the pricing discussion. The majority of listings are won or lost in the pricing discussion. If you say too high, they may just think oh, she's probably just going to hit me up for like wanting to buy it, or, you know, she's probably going to hit me up later for something, or we're just going to be on the market for longer. Like, they don't even believe you when you say too high. They don't even, and when you say too low, they might just want to kick you out. By the way, my favorite day to go on listing appointments is Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturdays. Why? I love Saturdays because typically they're in a better mood. They're typically, I'm used to working where Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was like my busiest days, right? Now we don't even work on Sundays. And if I take off on Sunday, I replace another day off. And I have no fear around telling my sellers and my buyers and my clients that I do not work. That is my day off. Because I know you don't call the doctor's office and say, hey, doc, I'm coming in tomorrow at 11. Again, are you the employee or the employer? It's one of the two. So and the reason why I like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays is because, well, Saturdays is because they're typically in a better mood, because most people work Monday through Friday. And they're just in a better mood on Saturdays. And I also would prefer to batch them. So if you've ever heard the term batching, which means back to back to back, your efficiency is higher when you're doing things back to back versus just one at a time. When you're doing things back to back, your conversion ratios are going to go up, because guess what? During the school, and I don't know someone's scenario, but it probably goes like this. You know, you wake up in the morning, you should be lead generating by 9 a.m. And then you got this call, and this title company called, and you gotta, oh man, I gotta make sure my transaction coordinator sent them this. Oh wait, I gotta get ready for this appointment. Let me get ready for this appointment. I go on this appointment. Oh man, I gotta eat lunch. I didn't bring my lunch. Oh, you know what? I gotta pick up the kids. I gotta pick up the kids, but I gotta go show this house though too. We have a million things. Because it's not about, write this down, please. It's not about selling real estate. It's about following a schedule. It's not about selling real estate. It's about following a schedule. And one more thing for you to write down. 'cause you'll hear me say this, especially the more that you guys are with me anytime you see my name training, is if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist. If it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist. You're running the business, so it needs to be on your schedule. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, then in a better mood. And guess what? I'm not going back to work till Monday at 8 a.m. I'm off the rest of the day. And then we talked about efficiency being higher. And then we talked about let's talk about the pricing strategy. Your pricing strategy is one of four things. Four things. One is what the CMAs suggest about the price. What the CMAs suggest about the price. Two, what price you suggest they list at. Three, be prepared for them to have an expected higher price every single time. Always be prepared for them to have a higher price typically. Four, for pricing strategy, is lay the groundwork for strategic price reductions as needed. So lay the groundwork because I already have it built into my contracts that they're going to make adjustments to the price by X. Also make a note that we don't use the word reduction unless we're speaking to another realtor. We only use the positive words, which is price improvement, new price, repositioned your home on the market. We don't use negative words like reduction. Reduction sounds bleh. I actually took this from Sonata that actually Sophia did. Oh, she is. Hey, hi. Sophia was like, can we say instead of price improvement, let's say new price. I'm like, done. If Sonata did it, let's do it. So price improvement is typically, Mr. Seller, it's time, so the average, according to the National Association of Realtor Statistics, 2 weeks and no showings or 10 showings and no offers, whichever comes first, the market has spoken to us and they rejected our price. And it's going to be time that we're going to need to reposition your home on the market and be able to find the right buyers. So let's build that into the contract now so you don't become stale. You don't want to become stale, do you? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to become stale, but I'm not going to give the house away. How many people here have heard, I'm not going to give the house away? I understand. And I don't ever want you to give the house away because guess what? We're on the same team. The more money I sell it for, the more money I make too. And my business is based on referrals. And if I didn't get you the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time and do the best job for you, you wouldn't refer me to everybody you know and your friends and neighbors and coworkers, right? Exactly. That's why you work with a great agent like me and we get it right the first time. Because you ever looked at those properties online and you've seen the days on market just keep going and keep going. And when you see a house that's sat for a while, what do you typically think? Oh, well, something's wrong with it. Yeah. Days on market is your enemy. And we don't want people to think about that with you, do we? Those are tie downs. But we'll get into that later because we're going to do a part 2 because there was no way I was crushing all of this in here for you guys. All right. So pricing strategy. Most people, and I'm going to assume that nobody on the call like this, most people confuse the consumer. You give them way too many options. Stop it. Just stop. Commit to it. 3 to 5 actives, 3 to 5 solds. 1 pager, ideally given before the appointment. 3 to 5 actives, 3 to 5 solds. Ideally 1 pager. I do the 3-up comparison as the print option on MLS. I've been doing that forever. I have 1 presentation. It's been the same for 9 years. Well, 8 years probably because I was mostly a buyer agent the first 2 years. But same presentation every single time. But 4 different presentations for the personality, yet still the same data. So, and we're always going to go through, here's the ones that sold. And let's talk about the appraisal because the solds are real buyers, Mr. Seller. So let's look at the most recent sales through the eyes of an appraiser, not through a buyer or your eyes as the seller. Does that make sense? What I'm doing is I'm future pacing. I'm future pacing because I'm preparing them for that possibility that the appraiser may say that it's overpriced. Now, I also sell a lot of luxury. So a lot of times lately, I'm not able to use that same objection anymore in the beginning because most of my deals are just cash, which is wild, but it just is what it is. So, but for those that are not dealing in luxury and are not dealing with mostly all cash offers, what I would say is that when you future pace them for the fact that we are looking at this through the eyes of an appraiser, the solds are real buyers. Put sold equals real buyers. Active equals fantasy land. Fantasyland, complete Fantasyland. You can ask whatever you want. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the sales, most recent sales, through the eyes of an appraiser. Okay, forget about how the buyer or the seller is going. Let's look at how they're going to price it. Let's look at how an appraiser is going to price this. Here's what's sold through the eyes of an appraiser, and you send it to them in advance. Highlight, underline that. Send it to them in advance. And I would prefer that you are not just emailing it. Okay, I would prefer you're not emailing it. But if you want to cut your appointment time down and you want your conversion ratios to be higher, then you're not just emailing this. You are sending an Uber to go drop it off. You're sending in a runner, or you're doing it yourself. Because what will happen is when you're at the appointment and you're just bringing up those comparables, they're ready to combat you right then and there. If you send them the comparables prior and they looked at them, as soon as you sit down to talk about the ones that are reality that's sold or the ones that are active, then they're ready to talk about it. Oh yeah, so we looked at those. You're not spending an hour going through these numbers to combat that they've been inside that house 5 times and it sold for this because John Susie's mother was sleeping with the other Kevin across the street. I'm just saying. So you're getting straight to the point. For the most part. So I'm not emailing it, because Mr. Seller, it's my job to be honest and upfront with you. And that's what you want, right? So based on everything I shared with you, what do you feel your home is worth? And they'll usually say, well, that's why you're here. Well, based on these three homes that we just went over, what price do you feel that you need to be priced at in order to get your home sold? I will dance around that question all day. And I will go at least 2 to 3 deep. And guess what? When your presentation for presenting price, which is for a separate class, when your presentation is so good, and if you guys put it enough for class, I will come in person so we could do this all in person and make this a little workshop, right? And it could be hybrid online. When you are having that conversation with them, typically when my presentation, I went on a 5 million and appointment. She said she only wanted 5. I ended up leaving there with a $3.2 million listing signed. I do it all the time. The one that just went live yesterday was a $750,000 price when I spoke to them. It expired twice with other realtors because that's what my specialty is, because I come in and save the day because I tell them the truth. I'm a professional real estate agent. I tell people the truth. So, and that's it. That's the secret sauce, guys. You want to succeed in this business, get good at presentations and just be honest and ethical. That's it. And do right by people. So with that being said, the 750, we're on the market right now. You guys can look it up. It's in Fort Lauderdale on 18th Avenue. It's listed at 625. 625. Why? And they actually told me they'd even go to 600. So if I don't have any offers in the next 3 days, yes, 5 days on the market. If I don't have any offers in the next 3 days, I'm going to 600, period. Not even a question. How? Because you get really good at presenting price. Which is not for this one. So, and it's going through those homes, right? And then when I asked them though, based on these 3 homes, what price do you feel would get your home sold? You wait and pause. You watch their reaction. Because some of them may just want to throw you out the door and you'll be able to tell real quick. It goes back to that body language conversation. And most of the time, whenever you give them the number that you know will get it sold, not listed at sold. Listed equals marketing price. Listed is just a marketing price. Ask $1 million for a $100,000 property. Ask $100 for $1 million property. The listing price is a marketing price. There's a reason why there's most people, I love when they say to us that the prices are coming down. I'm waiting for the market to correct. Our market, please understand, is way different than the entire nation. The only reason why the prices are coming down because there's too much inventory on the market with agents who have priced their homes too high. And if you have a listing that's sitting on the market for longer than 30 days, it's price. And if you tell me it's because the sellers won't change their mind, that is a you problem and not the seller's problem. The reason why I take so many expired and canceled listings is because it is always the agent's fault. Period. The agent got out scripted. It wasn't that they wouldn't listen. It wasn't that they wouldn't get their house ready. It wasn't that they wouldn't change their mind. No, it was because you got out scripted. Period. Period, point blank. So how do we learn the scripts? We already talked about it. Role play it, write it, recite it daily. One time per day for 30 days, there's no way you won't master the presentation. If you're not even sure where to start, we're going to go to the pre-qual, and then I'm taking questions and we will do a part 2 to this, right? So when I'm giving them the price of their home, I'm sitting back and I am pausing and I'm watching their reaction, because most will want to throw you out the door. But most of the time they just hear the number because it's not logical to them. Mr. Seller, based on everything that we've seen, how do you feel about 500,000? Well, we really wanted more. Well, let's make sure that we get this right the first time. Because if we screw this up the first time, you're going to end up taking less in the long run. May I explain? And that's where I'm going to go through a days on market is your enemy script and whatnot. So, and because if we don't get it right the first time, what happens is we need to adjust. And I'm going to build in the price adjustment into the contract. I'm getting their commitment to the fact that if we get the price wrong the first time and the market rejects us, I am going to need a price correction. I'm going to need a price improvement to reposition your home in the market and put it back out there so we can get you sold and get you to X by X, get you to Tampa by August so you can spend time with those grandchildren of yours that you loved so much that you said your life would be more peaceful if you were there. Again, remember, people don't want to sell, but they want to move, period. The last conversation I will leave you guys with is the pre-qualification, and I will send you I'm going to share my screen for a screenshot of that pre-qualification. There is a pre-qualification script. If you are going on listing presentations and you are not pre-qualifying these appointments, then you are just wasting your time. Period. You go to the doctor's office and the doctor has you fill something out before you walk in. It's the same exact thing, right? So we are the pre-qualification. And in the pre-qualification, which I'm going to share it on my screen, there's 5 things that you can't miss from this. And to make sure you guys are paying attention, I'm going to give you the 5 and then you guys can, and then I will pull it up and you guys can take, and I don't care what order you do it in, but there's 5 questions you cannot miss in a presentation. And the other thing I'll share with you is an intake form. If I have somebody let's say somebody calls me right now, I'm on the Zoom call, I can send them a link to fill out a Google form as a seller pre-qual, okay? If they're a high D as a disc profile, I am never sending a link for them to fill it out because they don't care. And then you're going to get the question for how do you know their disc personality. So pre-qual, can't miss 5 out of these things. Because, and understand, everything is an assumption. I am getting this listing. I'm going to talk like I'm already getting this listing. I'm assuming the listing from the start. This listing is mine if I want it. 1 is going to be the pre-qual question is, if what I say makes sense and you feel 100% comfortable and 100% confident that I can get your home sold, will you, and my abilities to getting your home sold, will you be ready to hire me today when I come out on Thursday? If what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and 100% confident in my abilities in getting your home sold, will you be ready to get it on the market when I come over Thursday at 5? And it's on there. Will you be ready to put me to work for you today when I come out on Thursday at 5? Know this, 8 out of 10 people will say no. I don't know. I'm interviewing others. I'm not sure. I haven't met you yet. I don't know, right? But maybe one, or I like the ones that say yes though, but it doesn't happen very often, right? Second one, this is your disc personality question. Will you please describe your home for me? Sophia, will you please describe your home for me?
It's big. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. What else do you want to know?
She's a high D. She said it's big. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. What else do you want to know? High D. Going straight. I've already probably used Forewarn. By the way, Forewarn is my best friend. It's your background search tool and it's free for Florida realtors. So forewarn is incredible. So that's a high D. Give me another one. Give me whatever one. Sophia, describe your home for me.
Oh, it's so pretty. So we have like these beautiful tile floors. And then we just added some pillars on the inside for fun. And then my favorite part is going to the pool. The pool is awesome. It's huge. We like to also dock our boat there and use it all the time. It's perfect and homey.
We are a high I all day, and I'm bringing like something fun. And I'm gonna have to probably block out an extra half an hour because they're extra chatty. Okay. They're social and outgoing, like they're ready. That's me. And then direct to straight to the point is too. And then give me another. Describe your home for me.
So it's 1,200 square feet. The roof is 2017. The AC is 2024. We just renovated the bathroom in 2017. 4-bed, 2-bath.
That is a high C. She's analytical. Once they talk about square footage and numbers, and so you better be ready for those presentation numbers for stats. You can never go to a high C and not be ready for exactly the info, because they will know. They will know. Okay. And so from there, is describe your home for me. 3 is, what do you want to list your home for? What do you want to list your home for?
Me?
Yeah, you typically what they're gonna end up saying is, well, that's why I'm gonna have you come out, or I want $750,000, and you already know it's not gonna happen. You say, as a professional real estate agent, I study prices in homes every day. Therefore, I assume you will list with me at a price that will cause it to sell, correct?
Yes.
Great. So, I'm assuming again, I'm assuming when you list with me, when you work with a great agent like me, right? And so number 4, do not miss this one. I have been on so many appointments and I learned this lesson so hard and more than once, and it's brutal. 4 is, will all the decision makers be present? Will all the decision maker, I know I'm not the only one on this call that has been on an appointment and you got there and the wife wasn't even home and she was actually the decision maker. Right? So this is a gut thing. I'm not going to tell you to not go on an appointment if the decision makers are all not going to be there. I'm going to tell you to trust your gut. You had the conversation with them. Trust your gut. Just trust your gut on that one. Okay. Let's see if I have your listing presentation. I will also send this out. And these are objection handlers in regards to, I've been with Glover for probably, I don't know, 2016. And so this is, they only want to give me a 30, 60-day listing. We'll save the commission by selling ourselves. We've never heard of your company, which now I'm getting a lot more because I'm not with a bigger brokerage anymore. Let's list high will always come down later. Oh, please master this one. This one you got to master. Okay. This one is, I understand you want to list high to leave room for negotiation. Have you considered the problem that creates for you? Problem? What problem? So we'll go through these. We want to think it over. We want to sleep on it. Understand that sellers went to script school just like you did. They say the same things over and over. But when they say this, you say this. When they say this, you say this. Now, it doesn't sound like you because you've never said it before. So master the script one time, and then you have the right to be creative after you're consistent with what already works. Make sense? Here is your pre-qual script. So I will have you, how do I make this smaller? Sophia?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, never mind. All right, take a picture of this. Here is your pre-qual script. Last question of number 5 that you don't want to miss is, do you have any questions before I arrive? Do you have any questions before I arrive?
Oh,
No, it's okay, because I'm already late. How much you own the property, describe your home for me, sending them a package of information. All this, and it doesn't matter what order you do them in, just do not miss those 5. Okay? Do not miss those 5. Let me hear from 2 people, and then I'm 3 minutes over, and I apologize, and I appreciate you and your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys more. If you guys were excited and would like for me to also come in person, and we can kind of do like a, here's also, I put in the chat my Google form. Now, if you send that to a seller, I will get their information. So I would suggest that you probably take that Google form I just put in the chat and you create your own. How do you do a Google form? You Google it. I'm just saying. But that would just do not send a Google form to somebody for a pre-qual. I would prefer you do them in person, but I mean, over the phone. However, don't go to appointments without pre-quals. Was this a value? Somebody give me 2 takeaways. So I know that this was a value for those that are not able to. Will you please put in the chat what is one thing that you took away from this and what not? And then in the meantime, I'm also going to share this should be my Instagram. I put it in there. But if you follow me and send me a message, I might get lost in spam, but I will get to it. I can send you over my listing kit as well. 2 takeaways. Maureen, what you got over there? I saw you writing notes over there. Yes. Yes, absolutely, Maureen. Darnell, let's go, Darnell. This is your incoming YPN president for 2026.
Wow. I loved that you said, like, hey, when you go to the doctor, like, you have to fill out a form, right? So, like, that's something I always have to remind my team of, like, yeah, they need to fill out a buyer form or a seller form. So it was refreshing to hear that from you as well.
Well, it's true. Like, I think
Yeah.
we scared to like ask them because Jessica, you're gonna have to message me on Instagram. I think we get scared to, or you could text me, I'll put my number in there too. I think we get scared to ask them for something because of the fact like we're usually just not confident in our skill set in order to actually ask for the business, or we're scared that they're going to say no. I mean, if you add up the 2 real estate boards, there's over 94,000 realtors in our Tri-County area, right? And they add Lucy County, whatever. There's a reason why I've been in top 500 every single year. Because 80%, 80%, they're not even selling. I mean, they're not selling anything. They just have a license. And so did you get your license to just have a license to be added to the statistics? Or like, do you really want to go all in and give this a shot? Or are you doing good and you want to do great and better? Because I always want to be better. And I'd also like to retire like sooner than later. So I could just coach and speak and train for you guys. And then my referral business runs. So that's the goal. Perfect. Yes, days on market is killer. I am 6 minutes over. I so appreciate you guys and your time. Thank you for flamingoing with me today. And when you see a flamingo, think of me. If you can't tell, I am an open book. And so you guys are putting your emails. I will never email you unless the board is going to. Email is not my strength. Although Instagram or you have my phone number, text me and I will get that over. Yes, Anna, you want me to go to your listing appointments? I partner with majority of realtors locally, and you can put me in any neighborhood and I'll be good. So yeah, I'm always happy to, finagle for that. And there's probably some other great agents too. Darnell's a phenomenal agent. You guys want to partner with and go on appointments for, like, it doesn't have to be just you. Partner, call. I appreciate you guys. Have a flamazing day. And just know we got your back if you need us. And hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. We could do some sort of a workshop, right, Kevin?
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I'm gonna be on my laptop.
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I have a full purse.
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I'm eating before I leave.
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I'm sneaking out for shopping.
We're YPN leaders.
Of course we're going to be creating content.
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I'm signing up for classes.
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I'm Cafecito obsessed.
I'm a YPN leader. Of course I'm gonna crash the next happy hour.
If I'm on my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me?